evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, Tullahoma High School played its first football game since the beginning of the pandemic. Lane Curley handed over the gavel to Tullahoma's new mayor, and the TBI director has warnings for parents. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. Last night, Tullahoma's longest-serving mayor, Lane Curley, handed the gavel over to newly elected Mayor Ray Noaes. Lane made some final remarks before Ray took the oath of office.
2 weeks ago, I was presented a gavel by, I'm not sure who yet, but it was very, very nice, very much appreciated. I immediately took it home. And I'm afraid it doesn't work. And it might, in fact, be broken.
You haven't been able to get a second?
Because, thank you. You can draw a picture? Well, I was sitting in my lazy boy. I was sitting in my lazy boy, and I hit the gavel a couple of times, and I needed a little help. You know, just fetching some coffee or tying my shoes. And nobody ran to help. I tried it again, and it still hasn't worked. So apparently, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking maybe a cowbell. What do y'all think? You think that might work? No. I don't think so. No. So the second thing I'd like to say is, you know what, and if there's any young people in the audience, young people watching, young people reading about this, you know, what we're getting ready to see, we're getting ready to experience a peaceful transition from one administration to another. And that's one of the things that makes America so great. Of course, it's not nearly as dramatic as a presidential or gubernatorial, and I understand that. But still, in every community across the country, this takes place. And it's just one of the things that makes Tullahoma and America so special. Is that transition that's getting ready to take place peacefully from one administration to another. The third is you've had a chance to meet our granddaughter Meredith. Can you say hi?
Nope.
So I'm very pleased that a lot of my immediate family is here tonight. My younger brother Kevin and his wife Mitzi are here. Our son Rob and his wife Katie. Katie describes herself as our favorite granddaughter, and that would be true. Our daughter Rosalind is here. Her husband Rusty I don't see here. Of course, Rusty is our favorite son-in-law as well. And Rosalind and Rusty have two children, Meredith, who you saw earlier, and Julie, that Rosalind is holding. And then, of course, Evelyn. I described Evelyn at our last meeting as my wife, love, and inspiration. And although I'm sure I don't demonstrate it enough to her, and she would probably agree, those three things are true.
I, Ray Noaes,
I, Ray Noaes,
Mayor for the City of Tullahoma,
Mayor for the City of Tullahoma,
do affirm
that
I will faithfully, truly, and impartially
truly, and impartially
perform the duties of said office during my tenure without fear, favor, or partiality, to the best of my skill and ability. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
And we'll be right back with more news after these messages.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. At Governor Lee's last media briefing, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director David Roush spoke about sharp uptick of cybercrimes against children.
For the better part of this year, we've all found ourselves in uncharted territories. COVID-19 has forced us to create a more robust virtual environment where Tennesseans go to connect, work, and learn. This new environment has affected all of us, but perhaps none so more than children. What they were used to as their school life has been turned upside down. Some are going to school with restrictions and new rules. Others are going to schools only on certain days, while still others aren't going to a classroom at all, but are using a computer as their window to their education. With more young people on the internet, it opens a large door for potential bad actors. These are people who are preying upon the most vulnerable and trusting of our residents, our children. Now more than ever, we want to provide a safe atmosphere for children to learn. We want children to feel safe in their classroom, even if their classroom is the kitchen table. But not only are children working more in a virtual environment, so are the sexual predators. At the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, we understand the benefits that technology provides, and we also understand the potential dangers that can go along with it. Shortly after I took this job, we created a Technology and Innovation Division. Within this division, we have dedicated teams of TBI agents across multiple specialized units who combine resources in conducting proactive investigations into a range of online safety concerns. Among them, we have the Internet Crimes Against Children investigators and cyber crime investigators. The pandemic may have slowed down a lot of aspects of our lives, but let me tell you, it sure hasn't slowed down the investigators in these units. These TBI agents have and continue to be open for business. Despite challenging conditions due to the pandemic, they are still pursuing leads, still executing search warrants, and still working to protect our children from internet predators. During the pandemic, children have had more time online and potentially less parental supervision. And at the start of the quarantine, we saw a large and concerning spike in the number of cyber tips that we received. The tips more than doubled from the pre-COVID months. In the month of March alone, 122 cyber tips were sent to us. The numbers the next few months also remain higher and elevated from the pre-COVID numbers before leveling off. So far this year, we've received more than 450 cyber tips. When we saw this trend emerging, we adapted our process to give these tips the time and attention that they deserved. We reallocated special agents from other units to work on the uptick of cyber tips in the short term, while our technical service agents concentrated on the most technically challenging cases. We continue to keep an eye on these trends and are prepared to react quickly when and where as necessary. In addition to the agents in this specialized unit, we also have a human trafficking unit with special agents and intelligence analysts dedicated to investigating this crime, as traffickers and sexual predators work to take advantage of having more children online. It can only take a few steps to get from a virtual school to escort ads. Just as we are all adjusting to this new virtual reality, so too are the predators, who can use this opportunity to try to groom victims. Those seeking to exploit our children can use tactics that often don't appear as sinister. It can start out as someone who pays a child special attention online and may attempt to give them things in real life. By recognizing tactics like this, our agents can work to prevent these predators from gaining a grip on a child's life. Our human trafficking unit is working to protect children, and we have the ability to better identify escort ads that are selling minors or those who are under the control of someone else. These are not just big city issues. We are seeing efforts to exploit children in both the urban and rural areas all across our state. Oftentimes, the best defense is a good offense, and that falls on us as parents. Knowing what to look for and be wary of can help prevent those who prey on children from gaining access to those we want most to protect. Parental oversight and involvement is imperative in the virtual world we are in. We want to encourage parents to be vigilant. We don't want to instill fear, but we do want to empower parents to know what to look for and what they can do. While these are uncertain times for you, your children are probably also experiencing things unfamiliar to them as well. So parents, remind your children that they don't talk to strangers, and that includes online strangers. Set the rules. Just as you wouldn't let strangers into your home or certainly your children's bedroom, you shouldn't let cyber criminals into your home through phones or other screen sources. Make sure to keep your child's internet use in a public part of the house and not in the bedroom or the bathroom. Chat rooms can be dangerous for children. We have had agents pose as teenage girls in chat rooms, and within moments of their logging on, they have had adult men contact them and send inappropriate photos of themselves and ask for the girl to send them inappropriate photos.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Welcome back. Last week, the Tullahoma Wildcats played their first football game of the year, defeating the Shelbyville Golden Eagles 38-13 in an impressive season starter. John Gray spoke with the coach about the game.
I thought that for it to be a first game situation, no scrimmages allowed this year, that our young men played well. When you watch the tape, you start saying, oh, we weren't nearly as good as I thought we were here or there. But that's okay. That leaves us plenty of room to improve. And first ball game, though, we had playmakers make plays. We had people running to the football, and I don't think we can ask for much more. No turnovers, very few penalties, only one offensive pre-snap penalty on an illegal shift call against us. And defensively, the only penalties we had were effort penalties where we got the pass interference calls against us. And you know, I wasn't unhappy with what our DBs were trying to do. They were doing what they had been taught to do.
Right.
It's a judgment call, and we lost out on that judgment.
There you go. There you go. But hey, we're just glad to be here. We hope all of you folks are safe out there. I was glad to see the stadium. I looked around, and on our side, it seemed to be probably about a third full.
That'd be about right. We're someplace between 33 and 39%. If we sold every ticket that we had,
that you're allowing yourself to sell,
we're allowing us to sell, to have people in to come to the ball games, obviously,
and feel safe.
What we're trying to do is get athletics for high school athletes going and keep it going, not get shut down like we did last spring when we panicked, and I think we panicked as a whole nation.
Oh, yeah.
Probably as a whole world, trying to just figure this thing out. Well, we figured out a lot. There's still stuff to go. but we basically have put you into groupings inside that stadium. Now, if you want to go up there and get one of those box areas and you're the first one there and you don't want anybody else to be in your box, I guess that's your privilege. But basically, we know people go to athletic events together. They go with a family. They go with people who they consider to be their extended family.
Right.
And for instance, when we started looking at the reserve seats and we're trying to figure out how do we do this, we realized even though that the vast majority of our seat holders buy 2 seats at a piece.
Right.
But we went back and started seeing that they've sat with the same people for years.
Right.
And so our whole concept is, okay, we're going to put you in groupings of 6, 8, and in the reserve seats it goes up a little bit larger than that. But you're able to, if somebody gets the virus, I know who I sat next to at the ball game the other night. I can contact them.
Right.
Okay. We hope that you're using distance protocol when you're standing in line at the concessions, and that you got your mask on, and we're trying to do things to try to make it to where these young people get a chance to have athletics for an entire year. And we may be stuck doing this in our gym and at our other, our soccer facility. We've got a maximum limit we can let in over there. Our softball facility's already been done as well. It's just, we decided as a school system that it was important for our young people to be able to go back and compete in athletics.
Oh, it is.
And I, as an old teacher, old coach, I'm telling you, our kids want normalcy. We all do. And we know that we can't get all the way back to it, but you know what? Athletics gives them a chance to feel some normalcy. And, is there a risk there? There is a risk there, but I think it's a worthwhile risk to take for these young people. I'm just telling you, all you have to do is be around them, and you realize how much it means to be able to be back with their buddies and to be trying to compete, to have a goal, to work together. And our young men, I don't know how we'll play. I don't know how many games we'll get to play. I hope we get to play all the games that we're allowed to be able to play this year. I hope we play 15, to be very honest with you. And we're over in Cookeville at the first weekend in December.
There you go.
But it is something that our community, our school system made that choice. Well, in order for us to do that, then we've got to have some protocols to help us try to achieve that goal, because the virus is here. It's in our town. It's in our community. Most of us now know somebody that's had it or has it, and we deal with it in the school system. We deal with it in athletics, and so far we've been able to keep cases very isolated, very contained. And the athletes know how important it is to be able to say, hey, I'm not feeling well today. I'm not coming to practice. And we've told them that. We've told them, if things don't feel right, stay away. We need to err to the side of caution. We've got some that live in houses where the virus has got one of the parents or another sibling. Mm-hmm. We tell them, stay until we know where you are.
Right.
And there's protocols that go into play and so forth here.
Right.
But I'm just trying to tell you, we're tickled to death to be playing football at Tullahoma High School.
We'll be right back with more news after these messages.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. John Gray also spoke with Coach Olive about how the TSSAA is dealing with missed games because of COVID-19 and how it could affect the season.
There are teams that did not play this week, Marshall County being one of those teams. they had 8 players, 8 starters. I don't know how many players, but they had 8 starters in quarantine. None of them had tested positive, but they were all quarantined, and so they chose not to play their opening game because 4 of those guys were all offensive linemen that had eaten at a table with a student that had been positive. And so they were in a 14-day quarantine, and so they chose not to play this past Friday night.
Does that go as a forfeit, or does that take their...
The team that they were playing, Columbia Academy, counts it as a win. They count it as a no contest, is the way the rules are written this year.
Okay, but that won't be their bye or off game. They couldn't trade it.
Well, there's several variations here.
Okay, well, it doesn't make sense.
If you and I are scheduled to play each other, and I can't play, I've chosen, my team's in quarantine, whatever. Right. You get a victory, I get a no contest, which means it doesn't count on my record. Okay?
Right.
If both of us can't play, then it's a no contest. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I can't play, you can. You go find Team C, and y'all are going to play. Now you don't get the forfeit win, you get what happens between you and Team C. So, and you may see that. You may see that happen this year, especially if you get some outbreaks here or there.
Right.
Like it really rockets up in a community because people aren't socially distancing, trying to protect each other,
right,
etc. Then you may see where coaches will be on the phone scrambling, hey, I just saw where you're not going to be able to play. We're not going to be able to play who we thought you want to get together. And I'll give you an example. Coffee County, and we have already talked that if a certain scenario happens, which is a possibility, we may play them twice this year. I don't think that's ever happened, but it may happen this year.
Why not?
Why not? 2020. Let's have some more weird stuff happen.
Do it all. Hey.
All right.
But we do have Coffee County coming to town this coming week.
Coffee Pot Week.
So, and we have a coffee pot, right?
We do.
And how many we've had it for a minute or two, hadn't we?
Well, we've got it back finally, and have kept it now for 3 years.
3 years.
So we'd like to make it 4.
Yes, we would.
This makes this old coach's life a little easier during the year.
You don't have to hear those jeers, do you?
It's just
poke
nice.
In the back. You couldn't beat Coffee County, could you, Coach?
You know, and hey, they won last night against Franklin County, so both teams will be 1-0. And, you know, normally that'd be a huge packed out place.
Yeah, it'd be 5-7.
Won't be. Tickets are limited. This is how you go about getting them in Tullahoma. I don't know how Coffee County's doing theirs. Coffee County has 500 tickets, and that's all. Once they've sold them, that's what can sit in their stands. Tullahoma students from 3:30 to 7 or 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock Monday. Students can come and get a ticket. Okay. Tuesday, parents of football players, band members, cheerleaders, and junior ROTC, the guys down there in the end zone. You may come get you can get 2 tickets on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, well, let me back up on Tuesday. Tuesday, it's 10 to 2, lunch, trying to do the lunch hour time period. Wednesday, it's 10 to 2 and 4 to 6, and the tickets, that's when it opens up to the general public at that point in time. Reserve seat wise, I think I'm told that we have 32 reserve seats left if you wanted to go by for the next 4 games. Reserve seats so that you're not coming up to the high school every time we have a home game to try to get a ticket. Now, after the coffee pot game, we may revise on how we may sell some tickets at site, but we made a choice 3 weeks ago. to pre-sale Shelbyville and pre-sale Coffee County. And that's because we had to see what the stadium was going to look like once we put people in it. Everything was just a plan up until that point in time. And so anyway, and then Thursday, they'll be back on sale if any are left Thursday. And if we have any left, we would be back down there selling them on Friday. I don't expect them to be left by Friday.
Okay.
But that's how you go about getting your tickets this week.
And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include Lyle Russell from the Tullahoma Parks and Rec Department. Horseplay is having a party, and all that and more on this week's Living. We'll be right back with your weather forecast right after these messages.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gotta be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1943 at 101 degrees. Our record low was in 1933 at 50 degrees. The average high for this day is 87 and the average low is 65. Storms for tonight's weather with a low of 69. Scattered storms for Wednesday with a high of 82 and a low of 71. And cloudy skies on Thursday with a high of 88 and a low of 73. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evening at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.